Camden was 4 years old and in kindergarten. Normally, children of that age are very active, but Camden seemed to be a little ill. His teacher decided to take him aside to talk to him. She wanted to know what was going on. When she asked the little boy what was wrong, Camden said he was afraid to see his father. When the teacher heard this, she was immediately concerned. It was an urgent matter that had to be addressed immediately. The kindergarten teacher, Nancy Blur, always made sure that her students were well cared for and satisfied. But how far would she go to help her young student with his fears? Before we start, can we get this video to 1,000 likes? Please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Nancy had noticed that Camden had been very withdrawn in recent weeks. Normally, he was very playful, but now he seemed sad and quiet. This was a clear red flag for Nancy. Nancy and her students have known each other for some time and have developed a good relationship. She was determined to help Camden and fix what was troubling him. Nancy took Camden aside for some privacy and asked him how he was feeling. The boy admitted that there were problems at home. The teacher knew that further research was needed to help her student and resolve the situation. Nancy knew she had to call his dad. That way, she could discuss her concerns about Camden with him. She looked up the boy's phone number in the class folder and called his father. The teacher asked the father a question that left him so perplexed that he asked her to repeat it. Daryl, Camden's father, thought his son had become ill, and that's why his teacher called him. When the teacher told Daryl why she called, the father was shocked and said nothing. He was perplexed. She was aware that her call could be considered an unwarranted interference, but she couldn't help but look at Camden's sad face. Whatever happened, she would help the boy. Nancy had never heard of Camden's problems at home. Apparently, strangers in uniform had visited the little boy's house. The matter appeared to have a significant impact on the lives of Camden and his family. Camden was worried and terrified that his father might be taken again. Nancy knew all too well that a teacher should not interfere in the private lives of her students. Unfortunately, in her years as a teacher, she had seen all too often situations like this get out of hand. It could end in trauma for the child. When she spoke to Camden that day, she could see that he was extremely confused and stressed about the events at his home. The teacher saw it as her duty to help the family, especially the young and vulnerable student Camden. Only could she help them. Daryl had no way of guessing what Nancy wanted to do for him and his family. Nancy had gone beyond what is expected of a teacher, and now she was about to make a huge sacrifice. Nancy's plan required a lot of preparation, and she had to make sure she was mentally prepared for the task ahead. After school, the teacher went to a nearby hospital to complete the required paperwork. After this, she was told that she needed therapy, and she was referred to a psychologist. She was about to embark on quite a journey. Nancy was subjected to numerous physical and psychological tests before finally getting the results. All of her physical results were clear, and she understood that what she was going to do was going to change her life completely. In addition, the results showed that the teacher was not only determined to help young Camden, but she was the only one who could. Not many people would be willing to make such a great sacrifice as Nancy. Even if they wanted to, they wouldn't be physically able to. The truth is that Daryl Peterson, the boy's father, was very ill and his kidneys were not functioning properly. They were weakening by the day and were only working at 20% when Nancy learned of this dire situation. While undergoing regular dialysis, Daryl looked so ill that his young son, Camden, has become afraid of his own father. This is why Nancy made her selfless decision. She knew then a child without parents cannot really live happily. At this point, Nancy's generosity becomes apparent. You'd think she helped the family by offering to babysit Camden or run some errands for Daryl when he was sick. But her way of helping them went much further than that. They never thought Nancy would offer to do such a thing. Donating a kidney to a virtually unknown person is not an easy thing to do. As the surgery date approached, the Nancy family paid a visit to the school to thank her. Daryl's family and friends had all been tested, but none turned out to be a match. Daryl had lost all hope until Nancy made her offer. Local media got wind of the story, and everyone spoke of Nancy with admiration. On the day of surgery, Nancy said goodbye to family and friends before driving to the hospital. Fortunately, the operation was a success, The kidney was also successfully placed in Daryl's body. Both he and Nancy should make a full recovery. The doctors had done a great job. Daryl's family waited anxiously for Nancy, and she was greeted with many hugs and tears when she came to. They told her that she was now part of the family, and that if she needed anything, they would always be there for her. Camden was perhaps most affected by the whole situation. Now that Daryl was healthy and had his energy back, the little boy was happy and content again. All his miseries and fears were gone. Camden promised to be the best student Nancy had ever had. He did not abandon his teacher. After both Daryl and Nancy recovered, they discussed what they could do to raise awareness about organ donation. The teacher had given away a piece of herself to help others, but Nancy herself doesn't think she's done anything out of the ordinary. Years ago, one of her friends donated her kidney to another member of her church, and this motivated Nancy. For Nancy, donating her own kidney was quite normal, and people should do it for each other if possible. It's amazing how heroics inspire other exploits.